Good evening, everyone. I'm the storyteller, and I am here to help you sleep better with true horror stories. Before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like my video. I would love to know where you are from and what time you're watching this video. So please leave a comment to let me know, and I will draw from that experience to tell even better stories. When you are ready, feel free to relax. During my sophomore year in college, I received an invitation to a massive party hosted by a senior in law school at his residence. A wet t-shirt contest, couples entwined in corners, and all the antics you might envision. Yet, it wasn't the revelry that etched this party into my memory. Rather, it was something far less enjoyable. And quite a bit more mild. This happened in 2014. I was 19 years old at the time. That night, a guy named Michael threw a big party at his beach house. This guy came from family with a lot of money, so it's no wonder he was very popular in college. But it wasn't just his economic position that made him popular, it was the fact that he had a very wild lifestyle and would throw the house out the window. When it came to partying, this guy was about to graduate, and according to him, this was going to be his going-away party from college. So I had every intention of making a grand entrance. The invitation caught me off guard. I was hardly the most popular person around, and my scholarship meant I was short on funds. Yet, I figure my connection to Eric, who was friend with Michael's brother, had something to do with it. As I stepped into the house, the first sight that greeted me was the host, perched on a bar in the living room, dancing to the lively beats of reggaeton, surrounded by a group of stunning girls. It was around 10 o'clock at night, and Michael appeared to be quite intoxicated. I found myself in a corner of the room, near a large keg of beer, where an overweight man was drinking while standing on his head, supported by two others holding his legs. Coming from a small town, I had never been the most popular kid in school, nor did I attend many parties, so this scene was entirely foreign to me. I must admit, I felt a bit overwhelmed at first, but after a couple of beers, the atmosphere began to shift, to feel lighter. However, nothing can be perfect. Beer has a side effect. It makes your bladder fill up too fast. Soon, I needed to go to the bathroom. I asked where it was, and they pointed me to a door at the end of the hallway. I went there, but when I opened it, I was confronted by a couple doing their business. I immediately closed it again. This house was huge, and surely there was another bathroom, but I didn't think my bladder could take much more. So, I ran out of the house and opted FO. Nearest tree, I navigated through the throng, shoving aside anyone in my path with urgency until the back door came into view. I rushed outside, and once in the garden, I made a beeline for the first large tree, seeking refuge to carry out my intentions before time slipped away. As I settled behind the tree and began my task, piercing screams erupted from within the house. Initially, I dismissed them as mere antics from a drinking game or perhaps the start of a new round. Wet t-shirts caught my attention, but it was the screams that truly resonated. They weren't mere cries. They were rallying cries for a fight. I hastily adjusted my fly and dashed towards the house where Eric remained. Upon arrival, the scene unfolded before me. A chaotic brawl surrounded by a throng of spectators, their cheers amplifying the tension. In the midst of the uproar, two men exchanged heated insults while trading blows. Yet the cacophony made it nearly impossible to discern their individual voices. As I navigated through the throng, my thoughts were consumed by the unpredictable nature of Eric. His penchant for confrontation, especially when under the influence, made it all too likely he would find himself in trouble. My instincts proved correct. As I drew nearer, I could clearly see Eric locked in a fierce struggle with none other than Michael, the party host. Michael, a formidable figure standing nearly 6 feet 4 inches, had Eric pinned beneath him, his knees pressing down with force. My friend's biceps were flexed as he took punch after punch to the face, and I could see the significant wounds marring his features. It was clear that Eric had also dealt some damage, given the chaos unfolding before me. Seeing my friend in such distress ignited a primal instinct within me, and I rushed towards them, desperate to pull Michael away. But then, someone seized my shirt, yanking me backward and sending me crashing to the ground. I struggled to rise, but they held me down while that monstrous figure continued to unleash a brutal assault on my friend. I had never considered myself a fighter. In fact, I had never been in a fight before. Yet, in that moment, I found myself throwing punches and kicks at anyone who tried to stop me from helping my friend, who was clearly struggling. Just as the chaos escalated, the sound of a siren pierced the air, prompting everyone to flee. Michael dashed out of the house, eager to avoid arrest, finally freeing Eric. Instinctively, I felt the urge to run as well. But then I realized that my friend lay on the floor, and I rushed to him, determined to lift him and get him to safety. But when I reached him, I was taken aback. Eric was utterly unrecognizable. His face was grotesquely swollen and deeply lacerated from the brutal blows he had endured. He was barely conscious. I did my best to drape one of his arms over my shoulders, holding him steady while I carefully rolled his torso to secure him. With a heavy heart, I began to move at a painstakingly slow pace, cradling my friend as he lay there, outside the house. I was convinced we would inevitably get caught,